One of the real downsides to having a president like Donald Trump that throws so many norms and conventions to the wind and acts in the childish, immature, and erratic way that he does is that it can help normalize or rehabilitate former presidents who also did things that aren't particularly good. And I've been really careful to avoid this with George W. Bush. So for the last 2.5 years, when I've pointed out, wow, Trump is going beyond even the craziness of George W. Bush in many ways, I'm always sort of careful to remind you that we don't want to incorrectly rehabilitate George W. Bush's image. Bush was a terrible, ignorant neocon war hawk as a president, but he had some common decency in some basic human ways that Donald Trump just completely lacks. And in the same way, I had many disagreements with Barack Obama on policy during the 8 years of Barack Obama's presidency. Obama's escalation of the drone war, Obama's war on whistleblowers, Obama's inability to make real progress on immigration, Obama starting from too meek a position on healthcare reform. There's a very long list of disagreements I had on policy with Barack Obama. But Barack Obama was an intelligent, thoughtful, and to my belief, fundamentally genuine person to the extent that you can know those characteristics about a person when you see them through the media and through their actions as president of the United States. And Barack Obama recently wrote a letter in response to the shootings in El Paso and in Dayton, Ohio. And it is just a glaring reminder of what we're lacking right now, which is a president who behaves like an adult. And Donald Trump couldn't take it and was so triggered by Barack Obama that even though Obama didn't mention him in his letter, Trump immediately took to Twitter to insult Barack Obama. Now, this is no Obama love letter, okay? It's just something that reminded me of what we've lost with Donald Trump as president. Let's take a look at the letter, which most importantly for me, points out some of the obvious things that a president should be saying, but Donald Trump is not. Obama saying, quote, "Michelle and I grieve with all the families in El Paso and Dayton who endured these latest mass shootings. Even if details are still emerging, there are a few things we already know to be true. First, no other nation on earth comes close to experiencing the frequency of mass shootings that we see in the United States. No other developed nation tolerates the levels of gun violence that we do. Every time this happens, we're told that tougher gun laws won't stop all murders, that they won't stop every deranged individual from getting a weapon and shooting innocent people in public places. But the evidence shows that they can stop some killings. They can save some families from heartbreak. We are not helpless here. And until all of us stand up and insist on holding public officials accountable for changing our gun laws, these tragedies will keep happening. Second, while the motivations behind these shootings may not yet be fully known, there are indications that the El Paso shooting follows a dangerous trend. Troubled individuals who embrace racist ideologies and see themselves obligated to act violently to preserve white supremacy. Like the followers of ISIS and other foreign terrorist organizations, these individuals may act alone, but they've been radicalized by white nationalist websites that proliferate on the internet. That means that both law enforcement agencies and internet platforms need to come up with better strategies to reduce the influence of these hate groups. But just as important, all of us have to send a clarion call and behave with the values of tolerance and diversity that should be the hallmark of our democracy. We should soundly reject language coming out of the mouths of any of our leaders that feeds a climate of fear and hatred or normalizes racist sentiments. Leaders who demonize those who don't look like us or suggest that other people, including immigrants, threaten our way of life, or refer to other people as subhuman, or imply that America belongs to just one certain type of people. Such language isn't new. It's been at the root of most human tragedy throughout history here in America and around the world. It's at the root of slavery and Jim Crow, the Holocaust, the genocide in Rwanda, and ethnic cleansing in the Balkans. It has no place in our politics and our public life. And it's time for the overwhelming majority of Americans of goodwill, of every race and faith and political party, to say as much clearly and unequivocally. This is just obvious context that's missing when we hear Republicans and Trump talk about this. No other country has these gun violence problems. No other country has the resistance caused by stupid but well-funded talking points that we do. And secondly, whether it's ISIS or these right-wing terrorists, it's the same mechanism of radicalization, and we have to call it out as such, and we have to call it terrorism in all cases. And by the way, just dripping from the letter is actual empathy and consolation for people, something that Donald Trump seems fundamentally just unable to achieve, instead having the instincts of going to Puerto Rico after a hurricane and shooting rolls of paper towels like basketballs, like a game. And Donald Trump was so triggered by this letter, which doesn't even mention him by name, that he immediately went to Twitter to insult Barack Obama with a quote from Fox and Friends, quoting Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends, saying, "Did George Bush ever condemn President Obama after Sandy Hook? President Obama had 32 mass shootings during his reign. Not many people said Obama's out of control. Mass shootings were happening before the president even thought about running for president." Now, there's a number of problems with that, including that there have been hundreds and hundreds of mass shootings under Donald Trump. But more importantly, Obama didn't even mention Trump in his letter. And Obama was trying to make changes which he couldn't get done, as simple as background checks. And this goes to Donald Trump's insecurity more than anything else. And there's two sides to this. On the one hand, just being able to speak and write in complete sentences distinguishes Barack Obama from Donald Trump in really important ways. But the substance of the letter is also something that Donald Trump is unwilling or unable to put together. I've said before, money can't buy class. It's never been more clear than right now. But the problem is that the longer Trump is in office, the longer that this becomes more and more okay. It shouldn't be startling to us to see, oh, a president that can speak coherently and isn't personally attacking political enemies on Twitter and is thinking big picture about social and political issues. It does surprise us. It's notable, even for me and for people in our audience. Trump has been normalized to a great degree, and every day that he's in office becomes more normal in a sense. There has to be a purge that's bigger than just getting rid of Trump. Having people like Jared and Ivanka in positions of power has been normalized. Having advisors like Kellyanne Conway has been normalized. Treating our allies with disrespect as some show of manhood has been normalized. It all has to be purged. It only starts with getting Trump out in November of 2020. Let me know what you think. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. If you love learning new things, you probably want to check this out. The David Pakman Show today is sponsored by Skillshare, and we're giving you 2 entire months of free access to Skillshare when you click the link underneath this video. Skillshare is a vibrant online learning community offering more than 25,000 video classes on just about anything you can think of. Get better at playing an instrument. Learn to use Photoshop. How to edit videos. They have classes on drawing, painting, business, cooking, nutrition, personal productivity. And I'm not even really scratching the surface. I recently took a great class on introductory watercolor painting. I'm still not good, but I am learning. And you can access the entire library of fun, easy to use online courses for free for 2 months by using the link underneath this video. 2 months of learning something that's totally new to you, something you want to get better at, something you already love, or you can get ahead in your career by learning new skills that will help you at your job. I've gotten a ton out of it. Pat has taken some courses that he's found really valuable, and I think you'll love it too. Get started for free by clicking the link under this video.